To live a materially exuberant life, you must understand one fundamental truth. Your body is not a static object. It is an adaptive machine. It is constantly scanning the world, asking one question: what software do I need to install to survive right now? We often think of trauma or hardship as things that break us, but in biohacking, we flip the script. We look at the data, and we don't see damage. We see plasticity. Today, I'm going to show you the most famous natural experiment in human history. It happened in the freezing winter of 1944. It proves that your environment can rewrite your genetic code before you are even born. And if a famine can hack your biology for scarcity, you can hack it for abundance. In late 1944, a food embargo plunged the Western Netherlands into the hunger winter. Daily rations dropped to as low as 667 calories. That is less than a quarter of what you need to thrive. But for scientists, this tragedy became a window into the code of life. They tracked women who were pregnant during this famine and analyzed their children 60 years later. They found something shocking. The timing of the hack changed everything. Late exposure. Babies exposed to famine, late in pregnancy, were born small. They had low birth weights. This makes sense. They were starved of building blocks. Early exposure. Babies conceived during the famine were often born at a normal weight. They looked fine. But 60 years later, when scientists looked at their DNA, they found a permanent scar. Specifically, they looked at the IGF-2 gene, insulin-like growth factor 2, a master switch for growth. The people conceived during the famine had 5.2% lower methylation on this gene compared to their siblings. Why? Because in the first few weeks of life, the embryo sensed a world of starvation. So, it performed a software update. It epigenetically programmed the metabolism to be thrifty, to hoard calories and store fat. It wasn't a defect. It was a brilliant survival strategy. This is the plasticity paradox. The environment didn't change their DNA sequence. It changed how the DNA was read. Now, let's move from the cold to the heat. We go to Cebu, Philippines. Here, researchers found that it's not just food that writes code. It's microbes and stress. In a massive study, they looked at young adults and found that their immune genes were tuned by their infancy. They found that babies exposed to high levels of animal feces and those born in the dry season, which is dustier and dirtier, actually had different methylation patterns in adulthood. Specifically, higher microbial exposure lowered methylation on the CD8A gene, a critical part of the immune system. This supports the old friends hypothesis. The dirt didn't hurt them, it trained them. It biohacked their immune system to handle inflammation better. But there was a dark side too. They found that parental absence, psychological stress in childhood, changed the methylation of the EGR4 gene. This gene regulates cell proliferation and inflammation. The emotional stress became biological code. So, why am I telling you this? To make you afraid of your past? No. I am telling you this to prove that you are an adaptive system. If a famine in 1944 can program a metabolism, if the dry season in the Philippines can program an immune system, then you can program yourself today. The scientific reality is that these marks, methylation and histone modification, are reversible. We used to think you were stuck with your history. Now we know you can rewrite it. Material exuberance means recognizing that your body is listening to you. Every time you fast, you signal, clean up. Every time you expose yourself to sunlight, you signal, wake up. Every time you meditate, you signal safety. The Dutch hunger. Winter proved the code is writable. The Cebu study proved the immune system is trainable. Now it is time for you to pick up the pen. In the next episode, we are going to look at the most powerful input signal you possess, your mind. I'm going to show you a study where just 8 hours of mental focus physically altered the expression of inflammatory genes. We are going to learn the mind-body override. I'm your host, Janani. This is Biohacking for Virtuous Life. Don't just live your life, optimize it. Subscribe to the channel.